Last week, number 10, Steve Bartkowski threw 2 touchdown passes, but the Atlanta Falcons lost a one-pointer to the Minnesota Vikings 24-23. On the other hand, Steve Grogan had 3 touchdown passes for the New England Patriots, a very impressive 34-17 win over the Cleveland Browns. It's game number 2. The site, Schaefer Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, as today the New England Patriots playing host to the Atlanta Falcons. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender along with John Madden. And, John, I honestly didn't know if they'd let you in the stadium today after all the misery you caused them as an Oakland coach.
Over the years, we had a lot of big games with the Patriots and a lot of controversial games. And I think the fact that we arrived here early, I think we kind of sneaked in and they didn't see us.
They didn't throw anything at you.
They couldn't.
Speaking of throwing, last week, what a job by Tommy Kramer. He had 395 yards for the Minnesota Vikings. He drove Atlanta crazy.
It was a long day for the Atlanta defense, and more specifically for rookie Kenny Johnson, number 37, who started in place of Rick Bias.
On the other hand, Grogan was just outstanding, as he was the type quarterback that can hurt you in a hurry, including the 67-yarder to Stanley Morgan.
Stanley Morgan, a very exciting play. You know, anytime he gets his hands on the ball, it's not only going to go that far, but it can go all the way on any play.
Well, that's going to cause a problem for this Atlanta Falcon football team, obviously, after giving up 395 yards last week. Before the game, we visited with Coach Lehman Bennett of Atlanta and asked him what they're going to have to do.
What I think will happen today is I think the Patriots come out and try to throw the ball on us and try for the big play. They have, for a long time now, been a football team that would run it at you for a while and then try to go up on top with one of their 3 fine receivers, and I think we'll have a difficult time this afternoon stopping it. Of course, we've worked very hard this week in preparation to get it stopped, and we're anxious to find out whether or not we will.
And we're going to find out in a hurry, as this is going to be a young rookie, Mike Hubach from Kansas, who will do their punting and also kick off. They don't want John Smith kicking off because of a sore shoulder. And back deep, one of the most exciting young players in the National Football League, a young rookie, Reggie Smith from North Carolina Central. He is only 5'4", and here he is at the goal line. Smith out to the 20, fumbled the football, and who's got it? It looks like New England has recovered inside the 15-yard line. Curtis McCray looked like the man that got on top of it, and that is a very costly turnover in the early going here for Atlanta.
They're all costly, but you know, so many things seem to happen early in the season on special teams that change the game. You know, big plays, and we just saw one of them on the opening play, Gary.
Let's check now, John, the offensive alignment now for the New England Patriots. Explosive football team. John Hanna, he might be the best offensive lineman in the country.
I feel that he is the best offensive lineman in the National Football League, if not one of the 10 top players in the National Football League.
Steve Grogan has Vegas Ferguson and Don Calhoun in the running back field, and this is Ferguson, the #1 draft pick out of Notre Dame. Should say their second #1 draft pick. They had 2 this year. Tom Pridemore over there to make the stop. Defensively, Atlanta this year, John, has gone to a 3-4.
They haven't. They moved number 65, Don Smith, into the nose tackle. He was an end last year, and you know, none of those players like to be moved in there.
The linebacking core, though, played very well last week against Minnesota.
Well and young. Al Richardson, number 56, and Joe Williams, the outside linebackers, are 2 new starters, as is Buddy Curry, number 50.
Grogan on a 2nd down and 5. End zone, Hasselbeck, touchdown. Don Hasselbeck, who last week had a 17-yard touchdown strike, has his second of this 1980 season.
You see here, one thing about Steve Grogan is he will move the pocket. You see, this is an organized rollout. Both guards pull, so he has an option to run or pass. He sees his big target in the end zone. Don Hasselbeck hits him for the touchdown.
And so the Patriots waste no time capitalizing on that fumble. Less than a minute gone in this game, and they have 6-0 lead. Point after attempt coming up now by John Smith.
They haven't missed Russ Francis thus far, have they?
I don't think they have. Hasselbeck at 6'7", it's hard to miss him. Smith, who led the NFL in scoring a year ago, and he hit that one dead center. And the New England Patriots, with 14:07 to go in this first quarter of play, have struck in a hurry as they have a 7-0 lead. They got off the mark very quickly last week against the Cleveland Browns.
We looked at Celica, Accord, and Scirocco. But when we looked at this new Mazda 626, That's all it took.
Just one look. That's all it took. Yeah, just one look. That's all it took.
We really like the way this Mazda 626 performs, not to mention its great mileage. All at a price that makes it really worth looking at.
Yeah, the more you look, the more you like.
Copier companies have been introducing small copiers with a very interesting claim.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
It's just as good as a Xerox.
Then one day...
This compact copier is very versatile. It even copies on your own letterhead. It's inexpensive, but best of all...
I know, it's just as good as a Xerox.
It is a Xerox.
The Xerox 2600, the compact copier that really is just as good as a Xerox.
Huboch to kick off again. John Madden, you've said many times, early in the year, special teams make a lot of difference in a football game.
I think if there's any one thing early in the season that wins and loses football games, it's the play of special teams.
Here's Reggie Smith. He's going to try it again. He hangs on to the football and brings it out to the 24-yard line. Steve King over there to make the stop. It's interesting how special teams always play an important part, but you've got some guys that in the National Football League for the first time, and strange things can happen.
Well, it's really the first time that they've played together. They don't play together as teams in special teams until the regular season starts, and that's one of the reasons.
Atlanta now down 7-0 with 13:58 to go in this first quarter. Jeff Van Note, the center. Bartkowski, the quarterback, last week throwing for 165 yards. Andrews and Kane, the running backs. Kane with 123 yards a week ago. He has the first carry, and he's going to bring it across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Okay, offensively, this is an offensive line, John, that really has some good young people up front.
They sure do, and the most impressive is their left tackle, number 78, Mike Ken, 6'6", 257. He has turned into a real premier pass protector.
And in that backfield, Kane has been a very big surprise for this football team.
It's amazing how strong he is. When he runs, he's very difficult to bring down. One person doesn't tackle Kane on a play.
Second down, 6 yards to go. A little delay to Andrews, and Andrews brings it out to the 32. He's going to be 2 yards short of the first down. Andrews, a 1,000-yard rusher last year as a rookie. What a surprise he was from Auburn.
It was interesting as we see the play here. William Andrews with the ball in the middle. We see how it opened up there, but the formation was 3 wide receivers on second down. What they were trying to do is get the New England defense spread out, thinking pass, and then try and pop William Andrews inside for a gainer.
Jenkins, along with Francis, are really outstanding outside receivers for this Atlanta team. And that is Francis in motion on a third down, a yard to go. Andrews, did he get it? He's hit hard that time by Mike Hawkins. Hawkins, a left side linebacker, and it's going to be very close. I don't believe he got it. It looks like a fourth down.
I don't think that he did either. I've always liked on short yardage to have a lead block go in front of the ball carrier, because it's tough enough to get movement there, and when you put a lead blocker in front, then you have the extra player there. That was just a counter type thing where William Andrews went in there on his own.
Well, they're going to measure, I guess. Nope, they're not. They're going to call it a fourth down. They were thinking about measuring it. Our crew, Fred Wyatt in control. He's the referee for today's game. And so, one of the outstanding kickers in the game, John James, will come in, a 9-year veteran out of the University of Florida. Last week, he averaged 43.8. Exciting player.
He has a difficult ball to handle. The spiral, it gets up and then comes back down.
That just came naturally, or did he develop
the same
that?
way that it goes up is what I'm trying to say.
This is Preston Brown back. He's going to let it hit. Brown's going to try it. He's the young rookie, 6th-round draft pick, and he is swarmed in a hurry. He played his collegiate football at Vanderbilt. And so New England with a 7-0 lead will have the football after a 39-yard kick that time by John James.
Excuse me. I'm not the same crazy coach who used to storm around the sidelines yelling at the officials. I've learned to relax, and I drink light beer from Miller. Do you know that light's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer? And listen to this. Light doesn't fill me up. Besides that, light tastes fantastic. Oh, sure, there are a lot of other beers around, and you can drink any one you want. But let me tell you this. For
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
As I was saying, I don't care what anybody else.
We're doing something about it. We're working at making our energy last.
Sunoco wants to make every drop count for America. That's why we have a new pump for unleaded gas. It has 4 grades of unleaded, including economy, priced below our regular, which can save money for you and fuel for America.
We're doing something about it. Sunoco is making every drop count.
Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, Hilmer Kenty defends his WBA lightweight title against ex-champion Ernesto España. You'll say you saw it on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
The New England Patriots, a 7-0 lead. They have the football at their own 27-yard line. Calhoun, Vegas Ferguson, the running backs. Behind Steve Grogan. Grogan getting off to Vegas Ferguson, and he had some footing problems, and he lost the football. It's been picked up. Atlanta with it at the 25-yard line, and they have it.
Vegas Ferguson carrying.
All of a sudden, the ball got away from Ferguson. Looks like Jeff Yates fell on it. Let's look at it, John. And
Jeff
both
Yates
teams
made
now
the
having
play.
a tough time, aren't they?
It was a guard pull. It looked like Ferguson was going to follow the guard. He left the guard because Yates got penetration. They missed Yates on the play. He got upfield, which forced Ferguson inside, and then, of course, the fumble.
So they've evened up now. Both teams turning the football over at the 25-yard line. Atlanta. Bartkowski. Off to Andrews, and Andrews inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Carried by William.
Andrews, a fullback type, and interestingly enough, John, so is Kane. They've had 2 ex-fullbacks do a very good job.
And they were both primarily blockers in college. I know when Kane was at USC, he was a blocker for Charles White. William Andrews was known as a blocker at Auburn. And Coach Lehman Bennett said when he drafted Andrews, it was like buying a Cadillac and find out it gets 25 miles to the gallon.
Second down and 3, a gain of 7. Junior Miller, their #1 draft pick, has come in at tight end, replacing Russ McKeskey. A give to Kane, and Kane very close to the first down at the 15-yard line. Lynn Kane, who had a knee injury in the 10th week of the '79 season. He'd impressed everyone up to that point. Coming back this year, and when Bubba Bean went down to injury, he's now taken over that halfback spot, and that was a first down just inside the 15.
Lynn Kane is very strong, and he gets a lot of yardage at the end of the play on his own with his strength.
Miller remains in at tight end. A big 6'4", 235-pounder out of the University of Nebraska. Bartkowski on the play action on the first down. As he's man, the catch is made by Miller, the man we just mentioned, and he's inside the 10-yard line. Miller's had a dislocated finger, John, that slowed his progress.
It did. You know, those things are really painful, and it's tough for a receiver. And we'll see this first pass here on first down is a play pass where he fakes to the strong side, and then Junior Miller delays and comes across to the other side. That's a good play and a good start for Junior Miller. That's the first pass that he's caught in the National Football League regular season.
On the other hand, he led them in receiving in the preseason, so they really like him. Second down now. They have 3 wide receivers in on this play. This is Andrews to the 5. John, they're using that a lot, 3 wide receivers.
It's interesting. That's the 3rd time that they've used the 3 wide receivers. I think you tend to use it early when you want to get a shot from the press box, a Polaroid shot, to see how the defense will adjust to it, and then you decide what you want to do with it later. I would anticipate that today, on all downs, we will see a lot of 3 wide receivers by the Atlanta Falcons.
That last run just short of a 1st and goal. They need to get just inside the 5. They're outside it. Mayberry now coming in. Andrews, Kane. Atlanta trying to capitalize on the fumble. Here's Bartkowski, and he has the 1st and goal. Bartkowski at 6'4", 213 pounds. That's a pretty good man to have in there for a sneak.
That is, you know, if he just falls forward, you'll get the first down. You go 6'4", you timber, and you have the first, and I think that's what happened.
So it's a 1st and goal inside the 4-yard line, 7-0. New England capitalizing on a fumble on the opening kickoff, and now, after a fumble on a running play, Atlanta trying to get even in this game. Andrews in the backfield. along with Lynn Kane. Bartkowski first and goal. Andrews is to about the 1-yard line. Mel Lunsford, who they have in there on running plays. They'll bring in Tony McGee and jump into a 4-man front quite often.
They do. I was talking about Lynn Kane earlier being strong, but, you know, William Andrews is equally as strong, and that's one of the reasons that they can go 3 wide receivers or not use a lead block on short yardage, because he can get it on his own. Both of them can.
Both these teams showing good offense in game number 1 and doing it here in the second game of the 80 season. Second and goal, 1-yard line. This is Andrews, and he's in. The ball is loose, but that does not matter. It does not matter. It's a touchdown anyway. Once you break that plane to the goal line, it doesn't matter if you lose the football.
Right. It's like there's a pane of glass on the goal line, and once that's broken, and we'll see it right here, right when he gets in, once he crosses that, then no matter what happens after that, it doesn't count. Once he breaks that plane, it's a touchdown.
Boy, the fans got excited, though, didn't they?
They sure did. This is a big play now, this extra point. Last week, Atlanta had a penalty on their first extra point. Then they missed it, and it was 6 points, and then that stared him in the face the whole game. It came back to haunt him.
And the guy that missed it, the man kicking out, Tim Mazzetti. John James holding. Mazzetti's kick is up, and Mazzetti has tied it up. It's 7-7 at the 7:48 mark, and there was some thought that this could be a real shootout. It could be a high-scoring game, and thus far in the early going, it looks that way.
For years, the needs of the European driver have been defined by their roads, which are small, and the price of gas, which is large. And Ford has been there. For over 50 years, we've been building small cars in Europe. Today, when America needs high-quality small cars, the incredible world of Ford is working to meet that need, building a new generation of cars with world-class technology right here in America.
If you could see
Tomorrow arrives October 3rd with the new Mercury Lynx and Ford Escort, competing with anything in their class from anywhere in the world.
Monday night, don't miss Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, and Dudley Moore in an uproarious comedy, Foul Play. Monday night at 8, 7 Central and Mountain, followed by a special showing of MASH.
Well, Tim Mazzetti, John Madden, must be breathing a sigh of relief. He got that one through the uprights and tied it up.
You know, and he had to remember last year, he said last year he felt like he was in the eye of a hurricane all year.
After that sensational rookie year, kicking off deep, Preston Brown at the 5. Brown to the 20, some running room, the 30, a flag on the play, and he's going to be out of bounds just across the 40-yard line. But a flag back at the 25-yard line. Bob Glazebrook ran him out after a 35-yard return on the play. And let's see what this is all about.
There's another example of a mistake on special teams, and I'm sure it's going against the Patriots, and they'll start off with very poor field position as a result of this penalty.
It's a clipping call.
And it's you know, as a coach, that used to drive you crazy. You know, I finally put in a rule. I told my men, I said, man, if you can read their name, don't block them.
Well, do you have guys that couldn't read?
Well, no, then I changed that. I said, if you can see their name, don't block them. You know, because we had some of those kickers and so on with funny names. That one drives you crazy, that clip on the kickoff. You get a good return, and boom, now you're starting back there on the 12-yard line.
All right, let's listen.
We have clipping number 54.
And so number 54 is going to be John Zamberlin, who is actually an inside linebacker, starting linebackers on that special teams. Don Calhoun, Horace Ivory, the running backs. The ball now at the 13 after that penalty. 7-7 our score. Grogan up to Calhoun, and Calhoun makes it to the 14. Calhoun in the place of Cunningham, who's still one of the holdouts, one of 4 for the New England Patriots. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New England Patriots and the National Football League is prohibited. And John, that still is the story here. The group of four, or the slusher four, whatever you want to call them, still not in camp.
They're still not in camp, and I think as the season goes on, they'll miss him more and more.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Grogan deep in his own territory, but he hits Hasselbeck, who already has a touchdown catch. And that'll move it out to the 20-yard line, very close to that first down. Hasselbeck getting a lot of playing time due to the injury to Russ Francis. Al Richardson, the rookie from Georgia Tech. There's another flag, and it's going to be holding against New England.
That's the other one. I think the clipping that bothers you, than holding after completed passes is another one. But you know, I always respected Steve Grogan. He's a real competitor, and there's a lot of quarterbacks that wouldn't throw from that position inside the 15-yard line.
Holding number 67.
That's going to be Bill Lenkaitis. You told me you thought Grogan was a 5-touchdown quarterback.
A 5-touchdown quarterback. I always rated quarterbacks by how many touchdowns they were capable of producing in a game. Grogan is one of those that can produce 5 touchdowns.
Horace Ivory now has come into the backfield along with Calhoun. Second down, 16. Grogan wide open, near side Morgan. Boy, that would have been a remarkable catch. Kenny Johnson, the young rookie from Mississippi State, the man they picked on last week in Minnesota.
That's right. He got his first action, and I'm sure that will help Kenny Johnson. You know, it makes you feel good if the first thing that happens is on your side, and it was. Again, I admire Grogan for standing back there and throwing. You know, it's very dangerous to throw out of your end zone because not only the safety, but if you hold in the end zone, if you have a penalty in the end zone, then it's an automatic safety, 2 points.
Andy Johnson and Chuck Foreman come in on a 3rd and 16. Well, Grogan calls, what, 90% of his own plays?
Just about all of them.
3rd down, 16 from the 7-yard line. Grogan airing it out again. He's going deep. And this time, no chance for Morgan. Good coverage by Atlanta, and in particular, Rollin Lawrence. Believe it or not, though, there's another flag back at the 5-yard line. Let's go back and pick up some of the play in the trenches.
Here we watch John Hanna. You see here, in a 3-man line, there's no man over him, so he has to come out and get the linebacker if he comes. And we see there Joel Williams was coming from the outside.
Holding number 74, declined, 4th down.
They have to get rid of the football. We were talking about the officials working today's game. Don Wedge was to be here. He's been replaced by Dean Look, the former Michigan State quarterback. Don suffered a heart attack, and we certainly wish he and his family the very best.
We sure do. He's a fine official.
Hubach back. I didn't know you liked any officials, John.
Oh, a few of them. I like them all away from the game.
Oh, what a kick by Hubach. Reggie Smith back to the 30-yard line. He's waiting for the wall to develop. He's still waiting, and he may go the other way. He has all kinds of running room. 45, 50, and he's going to be dropped at the 47-yard line. From high above, you could see everything developing, and Reggie Smith evidently saw that. A 25-yard return after, get this, a 65-yard kick by Hubach.
That Reggie Smith is something, you know, he said that he represents all the little people. He's playing for all the little people in the world.
Where can you find someone to service all the parts of your car with the know-how and equipment to check wheels, brakes, engine, suspension, almost everything? Someone who'll give you a written estimate and fix only what you want fixed. Firestone Car Service. That's where. 24,000 Firestone Car Service bays are waiting to serve you for this week's specials. Check your newspaper.
When it's your vacation and you fly there for less.
That's Transamerica Airlines.
That's Transamerica. When you can get more life insurance than you thought you could afford.
That's Occidental Life.
That's Transamerica. When you rent a car and get the feeling that you're number one.
That's Budget Rent-A-Car.
There are many companies in the Transamerica family, and they all stand for just one thing. First-rate service at a fair price. That's Transamerica.
Next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 1979 Derby and Preakness winner Spectacular Bid is slated to lead the pack of the 1980 Woodward Stakes. You'll say you saw it on CBS Sports.
They call him Super Nat. He's 5'4", and let's look at this 25-yard return.
You will see, you don't like the the run back man to slow up. But I think in this case, with a 65-yard punt, that there is a reason. He has to wait for a wall to get back there, which he did. He waited for the wall on the right side. It wasn't there, so he changed his field, and he had a wall on this side, on the left side. A very exciting player, Reggie Smith.
His hero was Nolan Smith, who was, what they called him, Super Flea or Flea?
No, he was Nat.
He was Nat.
Yeah, he was Nat.
Who played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
So Reggie Smith is Super Nat, one up.
From the 46-yard line, first down. In motion, Wallace Francis. Then Kane, and Kane inside the 45 to the 42. Steve Nelson, who is a nucleus of this defense, outstanding linebacker out of North Dakota State, making the tackle. He's going to bring up second down and 5 yards to go. This Atlanta team last week showed a lot of offense, and I think more importantly, John, they came from behind in last week's game, only to lose at the very last end with 25 seconds to go.
They did, and offensively, they're two different teams. One when they have good field position or good offense. When they don't play very well.
Second and 5, Miller with a first down catch, and he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Rick Sanford over there, and all of a sudden, Junior Miller, who hadn't caught a pass last week, is figuring in their offense.
I think that's why they drafted him number 1. They knew that he would figure. Last week he didn't start. He didn't play as much as I'm sure he'll play today. But if not today, in the ensuing weeks, we're going to see a lot of Junior Miller as a big part of this offense.
He had 33 catches a year ago for Nebraska. He had 61 catches. Unbelievably, of those 61, 18 of them went for touchdowns. First down from the 30, so he's been a big play man in college. Bartkowski flags everywhere. Mix up on the snap that time. See everybody jumping around. That'll stop the clock with 5:41. 7-7 our score. It's going to be a legal procedure against Atlanta. Somebody just didn't have the snap count.
No, they took too much time on that. What happens, and it's a difficult thing, the Atlanta Falcons call the plays from the sidelines. They signal them into Bartkowski.
False start, number 70.
Excuse me, they were waiting for too much time to go. It was just a false start. But sometimes that does happen on the exchange, and the length of time it gets to get the play in.
That was Dave Scott, the left guard, a fifth-year man out of Kansas. From the 35-yard line now. First down, 15 yards to go. Bartkowski with nice protection. He hits Andrews, and Andrews to the 29-yard line. That's back to the original line of scrimmage. Steve Nelson over there, as you look at Ron Earhart, his second year as coach. He coached Steve Nelson in college in North Dakota State.
He did, and I'll tell you, he's doing a fine job here at New England. I coached against Ron 15 years ago when he was at North Dakota State and I was at San Diego State.
And that was a lot of times for that college division championship, wasn't it?
Sure was, yeah. We had some big games in those days in the college level. Don Coryell was our head coach.
I see where Don signed a new pack with San Diego.
7 years.
Inside the 30, second down and 10. Bartkowski off to Kane, and Kane running into some white jerseys, in particular Ray Sugar Bear Hamilton, 8-year veteran out of Oklahoma, who last week just played outstanding football. He had a sack and a fumble recovery in that win over the Cleveland Browns. Third down, 9 yards to go. John, I think it's interesting. So many teams are going to the 3-4, but New England did it way back in 1974.
They were the first team that used the three-man line as a standard defense, and that they used it every play. Miami had the 53 where they used it on passing situations.
Third down, 8 yards to go. Bartkowski is 3 of 3 thus far for 23 yards. Beautiful protection again. He has his man. This is Wallace Francis to the 5. Francis is going to take it in. Wallace Francis, who had 8 touchdown catches last year, a 27-yarder. And John, for a team that's had trouble protecting their quarterback, they're really doing an excellent job right now.
But the other thing that they did that I like here is they spread the New England defense out. They had 3 wide receivers in there and spread the tight end. They had 4 players spread across the field, which got rid of the double coverages. And as we see what happens here, they forced a linebacker to cover Wallace Francis by having the 4 receivers on the line of scrimmage.
Wallace Francis, who's really come on his own out of Arkansas Pine Bluff. And Mazzetti now with a point after, and it's a 13-7 game, and it's 14-7. And Atlanta, after starting this game off in a very shaky form, fumbling the opening kickoff, have roared back now and have taken the lead 14-7, as this game has the earmarks of being an offensive explosion before it's all over. 4:06 remaining in this first quarter of play.
Not yet.
Excuse me, let me get in.
And so now Atlanta with that 14-7 lead. John, we want to develop that story on the group of four, because we're talking about some outstanding football players. I guess maybe Mike Haynes is the first man that comes to mention. He is the cornerback. Cunningham, Sam Cunningham, Richard Bishop, and also Tom Owen. All of them right now still in the negotiating process.
You know what, we talk about Mike Haynes because we'll be seeing the New England defense come up here. It's when they have in their secondary, the Patriots have 4 first-round draft choices starting today. With Mike Haynes, when and if he comes, they'll have 5 first-round draft choices in their secondary.
And so there's some talk they will start negotiating again on Tuesday, in particular with Mike Haynes. This is Preston Brown, 14-7, Atlanta with a lead. Preston Brown to the 22-yard line. That's where New England will set it up. Ray Strong, a backup running back out of Nevada, Las Vegas over there. And you take a look now at some strategy being mapped on the sideline.
What they're doing there is they're really showing that formation that we were talking about that brought the touchdown on. You see, they had, and we'll see here as we go in here, they have the 3 wide receivers in the game, plus they had the tight end. They had Junior Miller split out, so they had 4 receivers on the line of scrimmage across the field.
And it was a 27-yard touchdown catch. This is Horace Ivory. Ivory out to the 28-yard line. Ivory's the man who's had tremendous potential, but always seems to be short-circuited by injury. Frank Reed coming up to make the stop from his strong safety spot. Ivory was the number 2 rusher the last 2 years, but he was on the injured reserve list last year, 4 games.
Right, and he didn't play last week.
From the 28, 2nd down and 4 yards to go. New England having to play catch-up. Last week they led all the way against Cleveland. Brings it out to the 30. That's Calhoun to maybe the 31. It's going to be just short of the first down.
You know, the story of their game last week, the Patriots, was the enthusiasm that they had on the sideline and the excitement. And of course, they were ahead the whole game. And sometimes success breeds enthusiasm, and you wonder how it will go today when they're behind by 7.
A lot of things said in the preseason, John, about the Patriots being emotionally dead, but they didn't show that last week, and I think that's what you're saying. It's hard to tell what they will do in a catch-up situation. Pete Brock now has come in at a center spot. This is Calhoun trying to pick up the first down on a 3rd and 1 to be very, very close. Had to work for it. Last week, Atlanta did an excellent job stopping the running game in Minnesota, and they're playing pretty tough today. They're going to measure to see if, in fact, he did get that first down. Mosi Tupu came in on that play. They'll bring him in as a 3rd back on short yardage plays.
Right, and he'll play a wing like a tight end position. He plays right next to the tight end. So they have 2 tight ends plus Tupu up on the line, and then there are 2 backs to give him an extra added blocker to the strong side.
And let's see if, in fact, they did get the first down. Let's see. They'll take a little time getting the chain untangled, and it is a first down for New England. So at the 2:29 mark, the Patriots with a first down at the 32-yard line. 14-7, Atlanta on top. I tell you, last week we had a lot of close games, some high-scoring games, and week number 2 may be the same if this game is indicative at all of what's happening in the NFC and the NFL. Back to throw. Grogan has his man Ivory. Ivory, a flag is thrown. Flag thrown way after the play is over, near the tackle. Ivory grounded at the 39-yard line.
That'll be interesting. You know, the Atlanta Falcons have 3 new starters on defense: Joe Williams, Buddy Curry, and Al Richardson. And one way they'll be tested is by throwing to the running backs, and that looks like what Steve Grogan is thinking of right now.
Let's listen now.
Face mask, number 58, defense. First down.
That's Joel Williams, a second-year man from Wisconsin Lacrosse, who was a draft pick of Miami, picked up last year, and really late in the year helped him out, and they're very high on him. Young linebacking core for the Falcons.
He was covering Horace Ivory.
First down, 10 from the 43-yard line. Grogan to Ivory. Ivory, nice cut. The ball may be loose again, and is. And who has this one? Ivory did not hang on, and we're waiting on the decision as they unpile near the 45-yard line. This is the third fumble of this game.
I would say that New England has it. You can always tell when the defense has it, they jump up and run off the field, and they all stayed there in a group, so I'm sure it's New England's ball.
Sam Adams is the man who came up with it. New England cheerleaders, the spirits of New England. So from the 45, it brings up second down, still 9 yards to go.
Well, we've had 2 turnovers thus far, and they both resulted in touchdowns for the other team, so I'm sure New England's happy that they got that one back.
Jeff Miro has come in defensively now for Atlanta. Grogan on the second down, lots of time, delivers it to Harold Jackson. Jackson hit immediately and dropped by Rollin Lawrence, and Jackson now has 502 catches in his very fine career.
I tell you, that was a great play by Grogan, because he waited for Jackson. As we watch the play again, it was supposed to be an in-pad, and they start with a play pass. He fakes a run, comes back, and watch him hold and hold. Jackson was running an in, then he had to wait until he got past the defender in the middle of the field.
Good shot by Grogan. 18-yard pickup at the 36 of Atlanta. 54 seconds to go in this first quarter. Grogan again with good protection, and he hits his man Jackson again. And that will be another first down inside the 30. Well, wait a minute. No, he's going to be short of it. Bring up second down. Jackson with 2 catches, and that now ties Billy Houghton 8th on the all-time receiving list.
He's a fine player. We've played against him a number of times over the years, and he's always been trouble for us. It's interesting that the Patriots are starting to work on the left side of the defense away from rookie Kenny Johnson.
Wilson Famuina comes in. Miro checks out for Atlanta defensively. That is interesting. But Johnson's relieved. Second down, a long 2 to go. Grogan hits Ivory, and Ivory to the 31. But again, there's a flag on the play. That would be enough for the first down. With a flag thrown at the top part of the field. A lot of penalties on this particular drive. Boy, they're finding those crossing patterns open over the middle.
They sure are. Well, they're doing 2 things. One, they're working the wide receiver to the right side, which would be Harold Jackson, of course, on Rollin Lawrence. The other thing is they're working the backs underneath.
Offside, number 65, defense, declined, first down.
That's nose tackle Don Smith. You don't see those guys offside, do you?
There's one. I don't know how that can happen. The nose tackle, he lines right up on the ball. He lines up over the ball. Now, how you can line up offsides, I don't know, or jump offsides, but I'm sure what he did, he wanted to get so close to get off that his head lined up over the ball. See, his head has to be behind the ball.
So the first down, of course, they'll refuse a penalty after that completion. The 22-yard line. Calhoun to the 20. Good job by Calhoun to the 17-yard line. Calhoun replacing Sam Cunningham. He, along with Chuck Foreman, alternating to that fullback spot. As this first quarter has come to a close, the Atlanta Falcons with a 14-7 lead here in Schaefer Stadium.
American cars guzzle gas. American cars are all style and no substance. American cars don't last. To all that, American Motors says nuts. This American Motors Concorde and this Spirit are built to be more than just good looking. They're tough. Tougher than ever before. The only American cars with galvanized steel and 100% of the exterior body panels. That's right, 100%. And Concorde and Spirit are more fuel efficient than ever before. This Concorde actually gives you better mileage than Chevy Citation. Only the tough Americans give you Z-Bard factory rust protection and a full 5-year no rust through warranty.
Tough can be beautiful.
Plus the exclusive American Motors Buyer Protection Plan, still with the best economy car warranty coverage in the industry. Concorde and Spirit, for good-looking high-mileage cars, don't sell the tough Americans short. Concorde and Spirit, built to last, from American Motors.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player. Did everything with my feet. Took out the rubbish with my feet, made the bed with my feet, drove my mum crazy. But I finally found something I enjoy doing with my hands, drinking light beer from Miller. Light has a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling, but what really makes me happy is the taste. It's terrific. Now, my mum should be happy too. Look, Mum, no feet.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The NFL on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by the American Motors, Concord, Spirit, and Eagle. Built to last from American Motors.
With John Madden, I'm Gary Bender. We start this second quarter play, 2nd down 5 for New England. They have the ball at the 17-yard line of Atlanta. They trail it 14-7. Ivory, Don Calhoun, the running backs. Jackson, along with Morgan, split out. Grogan at quarterback. In motion goes Harold Jackson. This is Ivory. Ivory to the 15. Oh, is he hit, but he stays on his feet somehow. Buddy Curry went flying over there. He's that young rookie out of North Carolina, their 2nd-round draft pick.
And he's very impressive because he plays the run very well. He's an aggressive player. And again, he'll have some trouble early in the season with his pass coverage, but Buddy Curry has real instinct. I think that's the #1 thing that you look for in a linebacker.
I think it's remarkable, John. He calls the defensive signals as a rookie.
And he had problems with it last week. He said it detracted from his playing, that he was thinking of the signals coming in from the sideline so much that he forgot what to do when the play started. As he goes, those things will become common. He won't even think of them.
3rd down and 2. Richardson comes out. Jim Laughlin replaced him at linebacker on a 3rd and 2. Grogan, he's going to run with it. And he has the first down. That is what makes Grogan so very difficult. He led all NFL quarterbacks in rushing a year ago.
I'll tell you, he did, and he's always a threat. He's a threat when he throws it. He's a threat when he goes back to throw it. And he's also a threat when he runs with the ball. And that was an organized run, because we'll see the leader on that play, John Hanna, the left guard, number 73, got out, and he hooked the end man on the line of scrimmage so Grogan could get outside. That was an organized quarterback sweep.
And nobody can do it any better than Grogan. It's 6'4", 208.
And John Hanna's not bad leading it either.
Last week he carried the ball 3 times for 23 yards. First down. Andy Johnson now in the backfield along with Calhoun. Jackson in motion. Here is Calhoun to the 10, to the 5, to the 3. You can hear the crowd chanting Calhoun, Calhoun, as Andy Johnson threw a big block on this play.
You'll see that lead block. Again, it was a weak side power play. Andy Johnson leads, gets the linebacker right there, Buddy Curry, which opens a hole in which Don Calhoun goes through and pounds down right into the 3-yard line.
Now they're about a half-yard short of a 1st and goal. 2nd down, half-yard to go. So they have some plays to play with now as they're inside that 5-yard line. Get a 1st and goal just about at the 1.5-yard line. Grogan to Calhoun, and Calhoun goes nowhere on that play. Good reaction by Buddy Curry at 6'3", 221 pounds.
That was a good down for a play pass. You talk about 2nd down and a few yards. That's a great down to call a play. You know, coaches love those situations. Quarterbacks love them. And I would have liked to have seen a play pass on that down, and they may have gotten an easy touchdown. Now 3rd, it's a little tougher because now you feel that you don't have a down to play with. You have to get the 1st down. They don't need a touchdown, but they want to get the 1st down.
They lost about a half-yard on that. 3rd down and a yard to go for a 1st and goal. Calhoun again, and I'll tell you, I don't think he got it then, did he?
No, I'm sure that he didn't get it. I don't really like that. I like the true power as we see it here. We'll watch the Atlanta defense. The big thing you have to do is stay low. See Buddy Curry come up here, hold the hole. The line gets penetration, and then the outside men can come. And on that play, the guy who made the tackle was the outside man, the corner, Rollin Lawrence.
4th down, and they're back to a half-yard. Chuck Foreman coming in now.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a play pass here.
With Foreman coming in, you wonder, don't you?
A fake where it could be an option run by Grogan or pass by Grogan. That'd be a good call.
Boy, Foreman is excellent in the passing game.
Not a bad runner either.
No, sir. He led the NFL in receiving in 75. Here we go. 4th down. Grogan on the roll. He's got blockers, and he is in for the touchdown. Wait a minute. No, they said he didn't make it in. He's at the 1-inch line, but it will be a 1st and goal. They do have 4 more downs to take it in. I thought he got inside that pylon.
It was right on it. Now, the thing is, of course, it has nothing to do with the pylon. Again, he also has to break the plane on the goal line. See, he can touch the pylon with his feet, but the ball has to get across the end zone line, and it doesn't look like it did. But I like this play. See, he has an option. He can run or he can throw the ball. Here, he gets out there and he decides that he'll just run as we see him go here. See, now the ball doesn't cross the plane of the goal line. The ball goes outside, out of bounds before it gets to the goal line.
Good call, but they still now have 4 downs to get it in. That was a very important 1st and goal for them.
It sure was, and it was a good call.
Chuck Foreman was hurt on that play. He is on the near sideline being attended to. Foreman coming out. Tutupu has come in the backfield. We have Andy Johnson and Don Calhoun. 1st and goal at the half-yard line. Calhoun, he's in. Touchdown but a flag. There is another flag on the play. Boy, he was hit in midair.
That flag will go against Atlanta. I'm sure they lined up offsides and the touchdown will stay.
Again, they had to really work for that. Calhoun hit hard as he tried to go airborne and couldn't quite get up and over.
I like that play. They had motion. They brought Tutupu in motion. He comes across, which gets some movement on the defense. Then they had the halfback, Andy Johnson, leading, so that gave him 2 additional blockers and really made a power side for Calhoun to get in.
John, you know, that's where they miss Cunningham. Nobody is better at that goal line dive than he is.
And short yardage blocking.
Trying to tie it up now is John Smith. The flag again, believe it or not. It's good, but the penalty flag is at the 3-yard line. And the discussion forthcoming. So New England, at this point, apparently has tied it up. Unless they have to kick it again, it's going to go against Atlanta, I believe, and is their 2nd consecutive offside.
Right, and that one will go on the kickoff. They'll kick off instead of the 35-yard line.
Number 22, defense. Penalty on the kickoff. Extra point is good.
I think he's listening to you up here.
Well, if he is, it would be the first time they ever listened to me.
So we're all even. 12:03 to go till halftime.
Got a date, Jack?
Do I ever?
One look good?
Yeah.
Try this.
Oh, come on, Gabriel. This vest must cost a fortune.
But it's yours for $9.95.
You're kidding.
Just buy 2 Gabriel shocks and get the vest for $9.95.
I'll try it out, thanks.
Jack, the shocks?
Sure.
Oh, Jack. Jack.
Today, business travelers like you are flying to USA on U.S. Air. Because U.S. Air flies to over 70 cities with 5,500 flights per week. And because we give you comfort as well as convenience, you can make the best of your time in the air. For your next business trip, fly the USA on U.S. Air.
USA.